Hi, this is Sylvie with another weekly health tip. So, I actually just discovered another friend of mine who has asthma, and somebody else has asthma. And I had asthma come on when I was 16 years old, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And with no help from my doctor, I managed to cure my asthma, and I have not had to use a puffer for over 35 years. So, it can be done, and it takes some effort and some learning and some dedication, and it is so worth it. One of my really quick tips for asthma that works great as I was working on healing and I didn't even need an inhaler with me anymore is to have a cup of coffee if you feel an asthma attack coming on or a mild attack coming on. It actually helps to open the airways. Even actually holding your breath for a little while and letting the carbon dioxide build up will actually physically open your airways as well. So those are two really good mindful tips to have, uh, just right from the get go. And another thing is diet is huge, and there's emotional aspects and many other aspects and lifestyle aspects. So what I figure I'll be doing is a little mini asthma series of videos, so I'm not like talking for too long. So I will still post all of the resources for each video. So if you're in a rush or you want it all now, I have a whole bunch of links and some guidelines, general guidelines of many, many different modalities that can help you. And if you would like some guidance to work through this, I can help you with that as well. You can check out my website at healingwithsylvie.com. I'll put a link down below. I think there's already one there. Usually I put one in. Okay, so I think that's a good starter. So I'm going to start with diet. So really, really important things to remove from the diet if you are suffering from asthma are dairy, at least temporarily, and gluten, ideally even all grains potentially if possible. Now everyone has different needs and it may not be necessary to remove all grains, but they do cause inflammation, and asthma is an inflammation issue. So depends how fast you want to get results and how determined you are. So there are many factors involved. So what I could recommend, so I said, yeah, gluten-free, dairy-free, no seed oils or vegetable oils. Let's see, what else did I write here? I'm just oh, and one thing, if you're having the coffee for that quick fix, one really great dairy substitute is the coconut milk in the can. And it doesn't take much and it works really well. It's quite delicious. It's hard to find a lot of sort of alternative dairy milks without kind of any junk in them. Just read the ingredients. There are some that are okay. It's better than having dairy sometimes at different points in your lifetime. So it's all about reducing harm and doing good and stopping what's not working. I find definitely meat protein seems to be helping so many people heal these days, and there's so much information on that that I highly recommend that, especially the again the ruminants, the cows, the goats and the sheep, the lamb are really good food. So if you can add that, if you can't, eggs or fish. I know some people are really averse to eating bigger animals or something that's not fish. It just has such amazing healing properties, so I do recommend it. And removing all refined sugars and all concentrated sugars like dried fruits, honey, maple syrup, those kinds of things. I found one, I should add the link. I found one really great alternate sweeteners. It's monk fruit, a liquid, and it actually doesn't have any natural flavors or artificial flavors or anything else in there. And I think that's one of the safest ones. Stevia could be a little suspect. There have been some new information that it might be used somewhat as a contraceptive in some countries in old world situations. So I'm just a little suspect of stevia right now. Another great sweetener is actually licorice root powder, and used in moderation, like a small amounts, it adds a lot of sweetness and you don't really taste the licorice much. So even if you don't like licorice, it might be worth experimenting with a small amount. Okay. And then there's the sugars in general because they feed the funguses and the yeasts and all that kind of stuff in our system. And chances are, if you have asthma, you probably have candida issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So some people actually remove, oops, sorry about that. I just made my video jiggle. Um, so some people actually remove all sugars, including fresh fruit, or they just eat the lower sugar fresh fruit, like melons and berries and lemons and limes, or those are about the lowest sugar content, carb content fruits that you can have. Now, again, if you have asthma, you might have issues with mold. So melons could be touch and go. Just make sure they're not overripe and really wash the outside of your melon carefully if you're going to have melon. I think that's a good guide. I left some links for some keto information that I don't really need to go over. And again, you can check me out at my website, which is healingwithsylvie.com. And you can reach me and make an appointment for more information there as well. So until next time.